My mom want to cut off the internet. My mom want to cut off the internet while I'm sitting here on YouTube doing what I love to do. You see how that sound? My mom want to cut off the fucking internet. Why you cut off the internet?
Quit cussing. You know why? I asked you to quit cussing, quit cussing. Quit cussing.
She told me to quit?
Yeah.
Or I'm leaving. Like, you know, or like you can't do this in my house.
Cause I show the meat to make you feel complete.
I show the meat. Cut that shit out! Come on, Dad, cut it out! Cut it out!
Behind all the hype, the millions of subscribers, the stadium-like screams, and the viral chaos, there's a hidden story that has followed IShowSpeed's since day one. The clash between his mom and his dad, and how their battles shaped him into the explosive personality we see today. The world knows Darren Watkins Jr. as Speed, but very few know the deep scars from his childhood. Scars that still echo in his dreams.
Alright, man, so unfortunately, chat, it might seem crazy, but I got kicked out, man. I got kicked out, bro. You know what I'm saying, chat? And then you feel me? Like, hold on, wait, y'all. Like, let me speak on some real shit.
In his frustrations, and in the way he reacts to the people closest to him. Tonight, we're peeling back the layers. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the untold truth about Speed's parents and the silent war that shaped his destiny. Stick around until the end, because this story is unlike anything you've ever heard. And don't forget to subscribe, because the journey we're about to dive into is just the beginning.
You know, hell no. 600K! 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 Mom, come on.
I don't give a fuck.
Alright, okay, alright.
I don't give a fuck.
Alright.
I'm gonna be on the recording.
Okay, alright.
Damn. Money popping up and shit. Fucking embarrass your ass.
This is embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. That was embarrassing. I don't even want to get hyped no more. That was embarrassing. But you know what, Chad, I'm sorry. I gotta...
From the very start, Speed's home life wasn't a fairy tale. Born in Ohio in 2005, he grew up in the middle of a broken home. His parents separated when he was still very young, and the fallout wasn't pretty. His father lost custody battles. His mother carried the heavy load of raising him, and attention in the house became a ticking time bomb. Imagine being a kid torn between two worlds. One parent who believed in discipline above all else, and another who believed in letting you dream, even if that dream looked reckless. That was Speed's life. By the time he was 14, that fragile balance snapped. His mom, overwhelmed by his endless hours of streaming, his rising obsession with gaming, and his refusal to follow house rules, gave him an ultimatum. Quit streaming or get out.
She told me to quit?
Yeah.
Or I'm leaving. Like, you know, or like you can't do this in my house. So I'm like, I'm out.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I'm out. You know, like I'm not about to stop. Like I was already averaging like 20 viewers. I had like 1,000 subs, 2,000 subs.
And for most kids, that's the end of the story. They'd quit. They'd compromise. But Speed? No. He walked out because in his mind, there was no way he'd stop chasing the spark that would later make him a global name. That moment, that teenage rebellion, was more than just a fight. It was the defining split in the family narrative, Speed versus his mom. But here's the twist. While his mom was telling him to quit, his dad was quietly in the background. Not living with him, not always present but always watching. And unlike his mom, his dad didn't shut down the dream. He leaned into it. That's why, years later, when Speed exploded on YouTube, his dad became not just a supporter, but a part of the chaos, trolling him, hyping him, even making songs about his most embarrassing viral moments.
Cause I show the meat to make you feel complete.
I show the meat. Cut that shit out! Come on, Dad, cut it out! Cut it out!
That bond wasn't built overnight. It was built on the cracks left by his mom's rejection. And let's be clear, his mom wasn't evil. She was scared. She grew up watching her son sink deeper into a world that looked like nonsense, yelling at screens, cussing in front of strangers, living at night, and sleeping through the day. To her, this wasn't success. This was destruction. In her mind, it was her job to save him, even if it meant cutting him down in front of millions. That's why we've seen her barge in streams, cut the Wi-Fi, and embarrass Speed in front of the whole world. Those weren't accidents. Those were desperate moves from a mother who thought her son was spiraling out of control. And the world saw it. Every interruption, every slap, every time she shut off the internet midstream. Fans laughed, but for Speed, it was humiliation. Imagine hitting 800,000 subscribers, calling your mom over to share the biggest milestone of your life, and getting nothing more than a cold congratulations before she walked away to do her own job.
Come here, Mom. Mom, come here. You gotta come here. You got to, man. Hey, honey K.
Boy, I'm doing a recording. Congratulations.
Hey, honey K.
All right, congratulations.
What? Just a congratulations?
I gotta do my own job.
That's not just a moment, that's trauma. And you can hear it in his voice when he vents to chat, telling them he can't even celebrate in his own home. Now compare that to his dad. When Speed went viral for the wrong reasons, that IShowMe clip that turned into one of the biggest jokes on the internet, most fathers would have hidden in shame. Not Speed's dad. He made a song. He trolled his son Liv. He turned the most embarrassing moment of Speed's career into family comedy. Was it perfect parenting? No. But it was the type of chaotic support Speed thrives on. It was the opposite of what he got from his mom. This contrast, strict mother, troll dad, is what made Speed who he is today. You see in his outbursts, his defiance, his need for chaos. He's still fighting that battle between two worlds. One that told him to sit down and be quiet, and another that told him to turn up the volume and never look back. And yet, deep down, Speed still loves his mom. When he was swatted live on stream, and police stormed into his house, it wasn't his dad who stepped in. It was his mom. She defended him, stood in front of officers, and made sure her son wasn't wrongfully taken away. That's love. It may not look like the support of love fans want to see, but it's real. And for Speed, those moments remind him that even through the battles, she was still his mother. Fast forward to today, and we see a new chapter. Speed is no longer the 14-year-old getting kicked out. He's an adult, independent, living on his own, with freedom to stream how he wants. But the ghosts of his past are still there. His mom, who once doubted him, now cheers for him after he won Streamer of the Year. His dad, who trolled him endlessly, is still a presence, still keeping the family dynamic unpredictable. And Speed himself, he's caught between gratitude and resentment, love and defiance, trying to reconcile the two figures who shaped him in completely opposite ways. So what's the untold truth? The untold truth is that Speed is the product of both battles. Without his mom's discipline, he might have spun out completely. Without his dad's chaos, he might have never found his edge. Together, they created the duality that made IShowSpeed one of the most explosive and unpredictable creators alive today. And that's why this story matters. Because behind the memes, behind the viral moments, behind the screaming and the fireworks, there's a boy who grew up in the middle of a war between mom and dad, and turned that chaos into content. And so, when we peel back all the layers, the story of IShowSpeed's parents isn't just about a mom and a dad. It's about the clash of two worlds that built the foundation for one of the most unpredictable, explosive streamers of our time. On one side, you have a strict, no-nonsense mother who thought she was saving her son by pulling the plug, shutting down the internet, and demanding that he quit. On the other side, you have the trolling, unpredictable father who embraced the chaos, who leaned into the embarrassment, and who turned Speed's mistakes into laughter. Both of them shaped him. Both of them created the Speed we know today. Without the battles with his mom, he wouldn't have had the fire to prove everyone wrong. Without the banter with his dad, he wouldn't have had the courage to laugh in the face of failure. Together, that push and pull, that constant friction, became the fuel that transformed a kid with one viewer into a global phenomenon. But here's the heartbreaking truth. Those battles left scars. Behind the smiles, behind the celebrations of hitting subscriber milestones, behind the viral streams that rack up millions of views, there's still a young man carrying the weight of rejection, humiliation, and a desperate need to be seen, not just by fans, but by his own family. And if you look closely, you can see it. You can see in the way he yells when someone interrupts his dream, in the way he explodes when he feels disrespected, in the way he sometimes breaks down on camera. Those aren't just random outbursts. They're echoes of his childhood, echoes of a fight he's still fighting today. And now, as Speed continues to grow, the world waits to see. Will he finally find peace between the two forces that shaped him? Will his mom fully embrace his success without trying to control it? Will his dad stop trolling long enough to show the serious support every son secretly craves? Or will the clash between his parents continue to live on through him? A never-ending storm that fuels his content, but costs him his peace of mind? That's the untold truth. That's the side of Speed's story you don't see in the clips, the memes, or the highlights. And it's a story that reminds us all that behind every viral star, there's a kid who had to fight battles at home before he ever fought for fame online. So, as we close, I want you to think about this. Speed didn't just rise because of talent. He rose because of conflict. He rose because of rejection. He rose because, in a world that tried to silence him, he refused to stay quiet. And love it or hate it, That's why he's here. That's why we're talking about him. And that's why his story isn't over. Stay tuned, because there's still more to uncover in the life of IShowSpeed. If you've made it this far, you're part of the journey now. So don't just watch from the sidelines. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay locked in, because the truth is, the battles of yesterday are only the beginning of the story tomorrow. And one thing's for sure, whether it's with his mom, his dad, or the entire world, Speed will keep fighting, keep shouting, and keep making history. This is only chapter 1.